And here we have the tomb.
The tomb of Moses.
Yes, here. Please.
Wow. So this is the burial.
Yeah.
For centuries, the life and death of Moses have been shrouded in mystery. Revered as a prophet, lawgiver, and leader, his final resting place has long been unknown, hidden by time and legend. But now, artificial intelligence has turned its digital gaze on the mystery of Moses's tomb, analyzing ancient texts, satellite imagery, and archaeological data with unprecedented precision. What it uncovered beneath the stone and dust has shocked historians and scientists alike. Could the truth about Moses' death be far stranger than anyone imagined? Stay tuned as we find out. The journey began when researchers, guided by AI-driven analysis, focused on a remote highland region traditionally associated with Moses's last days. Satellite imagery revealed anomalies in the terrain, linear depressions and geometric formations that suggested man-made construction, despite centuries of erosion and shifting landscapes. The AI cross-referenced these features with historical texts, including ancient Hebrew manuscripts, Egyptian records, and early biblical commentaries. The results indicated a probable burial site, hidden from human eyes for millennia. Excavation began cautiously, each layer of sediment carefully removed to avoid disturbing what might be an irreplaceable historical treasure. What emerged first were stone slabs, perfectly aligned, unlike anything seen in neighboring tombs from the same era. Beneath these slabs lay a chamber, faintly illuminated by the team's lanterns, revealing walls etched with markings that seemed both ceremonial and cryptic. The AI immediately flagged them as significant, patterns that did not correspond to known writing systems or symbolic languages of the period. Dr. Amara Weiss, the lead archaeologist, documented the initial findings in disbelief. This tomb was intentionally concealed, she noted. Every aspect suggests it was meant to remain undiscovered, yet the placement of the slabs and the markings indicate extraordinary knowledge of engineering and ritual practice. Even before the team fully entered the tomb, it was clear that this was no ordinary resting place. The precision, secrecy, and craftsmanship hinted at a truth long obscured, a truth that, when combined with AI analysis, would soon reveal secrets far more disturbing than anyone had anticipated. As the team stepped cautiously into the tomb, the AI's digital analysis came alive in real time. Using 3D mapping and structural scanning, the algorithm began to reconstruct the entire chamber, revealing hidden compartments and pathways invisible to the human eye. The tomb was far more intricate than any conventional burial site from Moses's era, suggesting deliberate design meant to safeguard what lay within. The walls, covered in faint carvings, displayed patterns that defied conventional understanding. Some symbols resembled celestial charts, while others depicted figures with elongated limbs and abstract features, seemingly blending human and otherworldly traits. The AI cross-referenced these markings with texts from disparate cultures, Hebrew, Egyptian, and even Mesopotamian, and found overlapping motifs that indicated a shared, encoded message. What stunned the researchers most was the spatial layout. The tomb contained hidden chambers accessible only through subtle depressions in the stone floor, some of which had been sealed for millennia. The AI detected structural anomalies, including air channels and reinforced stone supports, implying knowledge of engineering that was far ahead of its time. These features suggested the builders had anticipated both natural decay and human interference, preserving the tomb's secrets for future generations. Even more chilling were the AI's readings of electromagnetic anomalies. Certain sections of the tomb emitted faint, irregular energy signals, as if some mechanism, ritualistic, technological, or both, had been embedded in the walls or artifacts themselves. The energy fluctuated when sensors neared specific carvings, hinting at an interactive design meant to respond to proximity or touch. The team realized they were standing in a place where history, science, and legend intersected. This was not simply a tomb. It was a carefully engineered repository of knowledge, ritual, and power. Each step revealed more evidence that Moses's resting place had been intentionally concealed, perhaps to hide something far more disturbing than the remains of a single man. The AI had already begun decoding clues that humans could not yet interpret. pointing to discoveries that would challenge everything known about Moses, his era, and the forces that influenced his final days. The walls of Moses' tomb were unlike anything the team had ever encountered. As the AI enhanced the images of the carvings, a disturbing pattern emerged. Symbols that bore no resemblance to known ancient Hebrew, Egyptian hieroglyphs, or even early Mesopotamian scripts. The lines twisted in geometric perfection, forming shapes that suggested an advanced, codified language designed to convey messages across millennia. Dr. Weiss examined the symbols closely, her voice trembling. These aren't just decorative or ritualistic, they're instructions, or warnings. The AI confirmed her intuition, identifying recurring sequences that appeared to encode information in a system of logic far beyond anything humans of that era could have conceived. Some patterns corresponded to celestial movements, while others mirrored anatomical sketches, blending science, spirituality, and something more cryptic. Even stranger were the overlapping layers of markings. In certain areas, newer symbols had been carved atop older ones, as if the tomb's secrets had been deliberately rewritten over time. The AI detected subtle differences in depth and alignment, suggesting that each generation of builders, or guardians, added new knowledge while concealing previous layers. It was as if the tomb itself had evolved, maintaining secrets while adapting to centuries of interpretation. Among the most chilling symbols were small figures resembling humans, but with elongated skulls and exaggerated limbs. These figures appeared repeatedly, always in positions of reverence or control over objects that emitted faint energy readings when the AI scanned them. The implication was unnerving. The tomb may have been constructed not just as a resting place, but as a sanctuary or repository for something more than human. The AI also uncovered encoded sequences pointing to hidden compartments, invisible to the naked eye. These chambers could contain artifacts, writings, or remains, yet to be discovered. The patterns suggested that anyone attempting to enter without understanding the symbols might trigger mechanisms or rituals designed to protect the tomb's contents. It became clear that Moses' tomb was not a simple grave. It was a carefully engineered vessel of knowledge, energy, and mystery, designed to preserve something the world was not meant to see. And what lay beneath these layers of stone and symbols promised revelations far more disturbing than anyone could have anticipated. As the team ventured deeper into the tomb, the AI-guided scans revealed hidden compartments along the walls and beneath the stone floor. When opened, they contained objects that defied historical understanding, artifacts so advanced and meticulously preserved that they could not have belonged to any known civilization of Moses' era. One object resembled a metallic cylinder, small enough to hold in a hand yet etched with intricate geometries that pulsed faintly under the AI's energy sensors. Analysis suggested a material unknown in antiquity, remarkably resistant to corrosion and time. Another artifact looked like a crystalline orb, embedded with patterns that emitted low-frequency vibrations. The AI mapped these vibrations, revealing encoded sequences, possibly a language or system of knowledge that had been carefully safeguarded for millennia. Perhaps most unsettling were wooden tablets coated in an amber-like resin. Though seemingly simple, AI enhancement revealed micro-inscriptions, tiny symbols and diagrams that indicated advanced knowledge of astronomy, medicine, and engineering. These tablets suggested a level of technological and intellectual sophistication long thought impossible for the period, challenging conventional narratives of human history. Even the skeletal remains discovered in one chamber contributed to the mystery. The bones bore subtle modifications, small, precise carvings along the skull and long bones that seemed ritualistic but also functional, perhaps part of a process to preserve or encode information. The AI identified patterns corresponding to astronomical cycles and mathematical ratios, implying these remains were part of a larger, deliberate system of knowledge preservation. The researchers realized the tomb was not just a burial site, it was a repository of intelligence, technology, and ritualistic practice that had been intentionally hidden. Each artifact hinted at secrets meant to endure through time, awaiting discovery by those capable of interpreting them. With every new object, the question became more urgent. Why were such advanced items placed in Moses' tomb, and what truths had been intentionally concealed beneath centuries of stone, dust, and silence? The AI suggested that the answer lay in the crypt itself, deeper than anyone had yet dared to explore. Beneath the main chamber, the AI detected a hidden passage, almost imperceptible to the human eye. Its presence was betrayed only by subtle shifts in the stone floor and faint energy signatures that seemed to emanate from below. As the team carefully removed debris and pried open the entrance, a chill swept through the chamber, a cold, unnatural air that hinted at the secrets lying beneath. The crypt was smaller than the main tomb, but far more complex. Its walls were lined with stone niches, each sealed with intricately carved panels. The AI illuminated the carvings, revealing patterns matching the symbols above, encoded instructions, warnings, and what appeared to be detailed schematics for the artifacts discovered earlier. This was a secondary repository, deliberately concealed to protect the tomb's most critical contents. At the center of the crypt lay a stone sarcophagus, unlike any burial container previously documented from that era. Its surface shimmered faintly under the AI's spectral scan, suggesting a material composition not found in natural stone. When sensors probed its structure, the AI detected internal cavities and channels, hinting at the presence of mechanisms, possibly for preservation, security, or even interaction with the artifacts in the tomb above. Surrounding the sarcophagus were smaller relics, metallic instruments, crystalline objects, and tablets etched with microsymbols. The AI mapped them, revealing that each object formed part of an interconnected network. Their arrangement suggested deliberate alignment with celestial events, echoing the symbolic and ritualistic carvings in the upper chamber. Dr. Weiss whispered, "This crypt was never meant to be found. It was a vault of knowledge, energy, and purpose." Every element implied that Moses's tomb was more than a resting place. It was a repository designed to preserve something of immense significance, hidden from humanity, until the technology and intelligence capable of understanding it could arise. The team now faced a daunting question. What exactly had been preserved in this crypt, and why had it been sealed so carefully? The AI's analysis suggested that the contents were as much a warning as a record, intended to protect or reveal truths only at the right time. As the team explored the crypt, subtle markings on the floor and walls drew their attention. The AI enhanced these faint etchings, revealing geometric patterns arranged in circles and arcs, designs that resembled ritualistic layouts rather than structural supports. Some of these formations were aligned with celestial positions, matching the movements of the sun, moon, and specific stars. The implication was chilling. The tomb had been used for ceremonial purposes, and these ceremonies had been preserved in the very architecture itself. Among the most disturbing discoveries were traces of organic materials along the circular patterns, residues that suggested burning herbs or other substances used in ritualistic practices. While centuries of decay had obscured most of the evidence, the AI identified chemical signatures consistent with ancient ceremonial rites. The placement of these residues corresponded perfectly with the geometric carvings, as if every aspect of the ceremony had been meticulously planned. Even stranger were the skeletal impressions in the sediment beneath the ritual spaces. They did not match typical burial positions. Instead, they suggested participants had been arranged in precise postures, perhaps as part of the ceremony. AI analysis indicated that these arrangements aligned symbolically with the tomb's artifacts, hinting at a ritual designed to activate or interact with the objects themselves. Dr. Weiss examined the findings, her voice low with apprehension. "This isn't just burial. It's a ritual of preservation and power. Whoever performed it understood something we don't." The AI reinforced this interpretation, showing correlations between the symbols, the crypt's layout, and the artifact's positions, like a mechanism encoded into ritual practice. The evidence painted a chilling picture. Moses's tomb was not merely a resting place, but a ceremonial repository. Every design, every marking, and every artifact had been placed with intention, preserving knowledge, energy, and possibly warnings for generations to come. The AI suggested that the ritual itself might hold the key to understanding the tomb's most disturbing secrets. The AI directed the team to a section of the crypt where skeletal remains lay partially concealed beneath centuries of sediment. At first glance, the bones seemed ordinary, but scans revealed subtle anomalies. Tiny carvings etched into the surface precisely aligned with the crypt's geometric patterns. The AI suggested these were not decorative. They encoded information, a deliberate preservation of knowledge alongside the physical remains. Further analysis revealed that some of the bones had been treated with substances that resisted decay, allowing them to remain intact far longer than natural preservation would permit. Chemical traces indicated ancient oils, resins, and mineral compounds had been applied, hinting at sophisticated mortuary practices unknown in Moses's era. The AI identified sequences within the treatments that corresponded to astronomical and symbolic patterns, effectively turning the remains into a living record of celestial and ritual knowledge. Even more unsettling was the arrangement of the bones. They were placed in specific postures, echoing the ceremonial layouts identified in the previous chapter. The AI mapped these positions and found that they aligned perfectly with the tomb's artifacts and the symbols on the walls. Each skeleton seemed to be a key in a larger system, part of a network designed to preserve not just physical matter, but encoded intelligence across millennia. Dr. Weiss could hardly contain her awe. These aren't just remains, they're a message, a warning, and a record all at once. The AI supported her observation, showing that patterns in the carvings and chemical treatments mirrored those found in distant, unrelated sites. It suggested a continuity of knowledge and ritual that spanned regions and centuries, hinting at a civilization or a group of guardians, intent on safeguarding secrets far beyond human comprehension. The team now faced a sobering realization. Moses's tomb was not only a burial site, but a complex system of preservation, a multi-dimensional archive designed to transmit knowledge, ritual, and warnings to the future. And as the AI prepared to decode the tomb's final secrets, the researchers understood that what lay ahead could challenge everything they thought they knew about history, faith, and humanity itself. The AI's algorithms, now fully trained on the tomb's inscriptions, symbols, and encoded data, began to reveal a message hidden across centuries and layers of stone. At first, it appeared fragmented, pieces of text intertwined with numerical sequences and geometric designs. But as the AI parsed the patterns, a coherent warning emerged, chilling the researchers to their core. The message indicated that Moses's tomb had been constructed not only to preserve his remains, but to safeguard knowledge of catastrophic events, celestial alignments, and advanced practices long lost to humanity. The AI highlighted passages suggesting that the tomb contained instructions, not just for understanding the artifacts, but for preventing the misuse of their power. The crypt itself was a protective system, designed to respond to specific sequences, perhaps even triggered by celestial events, ensuring that only those with understanding could access its full secrets. More disturbing were references to entities or forces beyond human comprehension. Symbols previously dismissed as ornamental now revealed their function. Depictions of beings interacting with artifacts, controlling energies, and overseeing ritual practices. The AI proposed that these figures were not merely mythological, but represented actual participants or observers involved in preserving the tomb's contents. The encoded message carried a warning as well. Disturbing the tomb without understanding its design could activate unknown mechanisms or unleash forces the builders intended to contain. The AI mapped these risks with predictive modeling, suggesting that certain artifacts might emit energy or interact with biological matter in ways the team could not yet fully comprehend. Dr. Weiss stepped back, shaken. "This tomb was never meant to be opened casually," she murmured. "It holds knowledge, power, and warnings. Whoever built this intended to protect the world, or perhaps themselves, from what's inside." For the first time, the team realized the depth of the tomb's purpose. Moses' resting place was not merely historical. It was a multi-dimensional archive, a safeguard against forces humanity had barely begun to understand. The AI had not only uncovered the message, it had revealed the stakes. The AI's findings forced the team to reconsider everything known about Moses, not just as a historical figure, but as a guardian of knowledge and ritual. Far from being a simple leader or prophet, the evidence suggested he played a pivotal role in preserving secrets of civilization, technology, and perhaps forces beyond human understanding. Analysis of the tomb's architecture, artifacts, and skeletal arrangements painted a picture of deliberate sophistication. Moses' death had not marked the end of his influence. The tomb itself functioned as an extension of his role, a carefully engineered repository designed to endure millennia. The AI demonstrated that every artifact, symbol, and compartment was part of a system of encoded knowledge, blending ritual, science, and cosmic alignment. Even the celestial patterns etched into the walls hinted at a deeper purpose. The AI revealed that the tomb was aligned with specific planetary and stellar positions, creating energy resonances at certain times of the year. This suggested that Moses' tomb was not merely a resting place, but a hub in a network of knowledge, an archive and a safeguard, intended to reveal its secrets only when the world was ready to understand them. Historians and archaeologists were left grappling with profound implications. Traditional accounts of Moses focused on his leadership and religious significance, but the AI's discoveries suggested a more complex reality. Moses as a custodian of hidden knowledge, possibly entrusted with wisdom far beyond human comprehension. This knowledge had been deliberately encoded into symbols, artifacts, and the tomb itself, awaiting a convergence of understanding, human and artificial intelligence, to unlock it. The tomb's revelations challenged everything: the narrative of history, the limits of ancient technology, and the intersection of faith, ritual, and science. Moses' story was no longer confined to scripture. It had physical, technological, and cosmic dimensions, preserved in a crypt beneath stone for thousands of years. The final question loomed over the team. What truths lay in the innermost chambers, still sealed and encoded, and what would humanity do once these disturbing secrets were fully revealed? The team finally reached the innermost chamber of Moses' tomb, a space shrouded in shadow and sealed for millennia. The AI's scans revealed an astonishing scene: an array of artifacts, crystalline devices, and inscriptions that pulsed faintly with energy, arranged in a complex geometric pattern. It was clear this chamber had been designed not merely to preserve the dead, but to contain knowledge and power. At the center lay a stone pedestal supporting a translucent orb, unlike anything documented in human history. The AI detected faint electromagnetic signals emanating from it, which seemed to resonate with every artifact in the chamber. Surrounding the orb were inscriptions that, once decoded, revealed protocols for controlling energy, celestial forces, and perhaps even life itself. The tomb's purpose became chillingly clear. It was a safeguard against misuse of knowledge that humanity was not yet ready to wield. Even more disturbing were indications that the crypt had been designed as a self-protective system. Certain stones and artifacts were positioned to create energy fields that could react to intrusion, suggesting that the builders anticipated future discovery and potential exploitation. The AI warned that disturbing the chamber without understanding its design could trigger unforeseen consequences, reinforcing the tomb's role as both archive and guardian. Dr. Weiss and her team realized that Moses' tomb was far more than a resting place. It was a multi-dimensional repository of history, science, ritual, and cosmic awareness, engineered to survive time, conceal secrets, and protect the world from forces its builders understood, but humanity did not. The tomb had preserved knowledge intended to challenge, warn, and ultimately guide those who dared to uncover it. The revelations left the researchers in awe and unease. Moses' legacy was not just spiritual or historical, it was technological, ritualistic, and profoundly enigmatic. Humanity had discovered a truth that blurred the lines between myth, science, and divine instruction, forever changing the story of one of history's most revered figures. AI has uncovered Moses' tomb as more than a burial site. It is a repository of hidden knowledge, ritual, and power preserved for millennia. What humanity has found challenges history, faith, and science all at once. Subscribe, comment, and join the journey as we continue revealing secrets long buried beneath time and stone.